Hello and welcome to Investment Week's Women in Investment Awards 2020 in partnership with HSBC Global Asset Management. My name is Katrina Lloyd, Editor-in-Chief of Investment Week, and I'm delighted to welcome you to our 4th Women in Investment Awards. What a year it has been. I only wish we could give winners' trophies to all of you for remaining resilient throughout the challenges of 2020. I know from reading the submissions just how difficult this year has been for many of our nominees and finalists. So before we start, I would like to say well done to everyone watching. Well done for looking after young children while working, for homeschooling, for caring for vulnerable family and friends, for managing teams and supporting colleagues remotely, for coping with massive changes to working practices, and for dealing with a huge increase in workload. Most importantly, well done for keeping going during the tough times and providing valuable support for colleagues and friends, for being innovative, coming up with new solutions to the problems we face, and for building on the new opportunities being created. If you look back, you should feel very proud of how you handled 2020. We are not out of the situation yet, but surely we can learn from the lessons of this year as we look forward to 2021. Undoubtedly, this year has been a game changer in terms of rapidly accelerating the move to flexible working. We know many women stand to benefit from these changes with the promise of a much better work-life balance. However, there are challenges too, like working flexibly shouldn't mean feeling we have to work all the time. There is clearly much to work through, and I believe our nominees and finalists are well placed to play a prominent role in this work, with some great ideas for improving the investment industry as a place for women to flourish. We know there is a lot more we can achieve, and what more inspiration do we need at the end of this tumultuous year than Kamala Harris's election as the first woman and first woman of colour to become Vice President of the United States. Change is coming. But today, we need to make time to honour our winners. These are women who really stood out for the judges for their achievements and contribution to the sector. Now seems a good time to thank our judging panel, drawn from across the industry, for all their time judging our entries this year. They take this job very seriously, and I know they were hugely impressed with the standard of entries. Thanks too to my colleagues Lauren Mason, Editor of Investment Week, and Content Director Hardeep Tawakli for helping chair the judging sessions. Here are the people to thank. We would also like to thank our partner, HSBC Global Asset Management, for all their support since the launch of these awards. Stuart White, Chief Executive Officer, UK and International, and Global Head of Strategy at HSBC Global Asset Management, will now say a few words.
I'm Christian Parrott, Investment Analyst at HSBC Global Asset Management. I'm a colleague, brother, son, friend, reader, runner, athlete, hiker and traveller. I'm a British Indian Lancastrian with Fijian and Zambian heritage. I'm energetic, optimistic, creative and adventurous. I'm more than who you think I am. I am not just one thing.
I'm Lara Fenter, Head of Investment Control at HSBC Global Asset Management. I'm a wife, daughter, sister, coach, umpire, captain and competitor. I'm the 11th strongest woman in England. I am more than who you think I am. I am not just one thing.
I am Tim Roberts, Marketing Manager at HSBC Global Asset Management. I am a colleague, team member, disability coordinator, a sports player and a runner. I am British, I am deaf, I am a member of the Pride community. I am passionate about diversity and inclusion. I am more than who you think I am. I am not just one thing.
I am Anisha Randhawa, Business Development at HSBC Global Asset Management. I am a colleague, sister, daughter, friend, frequent farmers market attendee and a Bhangra dance enthusiast. I am a British Indian. I am energetic but emotive and sociable yet sensitive. I am more than who you think I am. I am not just one thing.
I'm Martin McNamara, Product Specialist at HSBC Global Asset Management. I'm a colleague, father, brother, son, friend, surfer, snowboarder, cyclist, rock climber, scout leader and traveller. I am a British global citizen. I am pragmatic, solution orientated, patient, empathetic, and have a passion for life. I am more than who you think I am. I am not just one thing.
I am Gail Privé Buenavida, Business Development Director at HSBC Global Asset Management. I am a mother, wife, daughter, sister, friend, and colleague. I am French, Israeli with Moroccan heritage. I am active, independent, loyal, passionate, generous, sensitive, and caring. I am more than who you think I am. I am not just one thing.
I'm Joe Rao, Business Development Manager at HSBC Global Asset Management. I'm a colleague, son, brother, husband, dad, uncle, godfather, and friend. I'm British Indian. I'm animated, positive, sociable, and spirited. I am more than who you think I am. I am not just one thing.
Good afternoon. HSBC Global Asset Management is very proud to be headline sponsor of the Women in Investment Awards 2020 for the 4th year running. When we embarked on our sponsorship, I don't think we could ever have envisaged hosting large events such as this in a virtual environment, and little did we know this would become the new norm. It gives me great pleasure to be here this afternoon to see so many women recognised for the great work they do, to celebrate diversity in the workplace and to showcase the talent in our industry. I, along with my fellow Women in Investment Award judges, have found it very difficult to select the winners for this afternoon's awards, and I feel honoured to have had the opportunity to read some of the award entries, all of which have been of incredibly high standard. We strongly believe a successful working culture welcomes a range of views and opinions, encouraging diversity of thought. Women should be confident to ask questions and raise ideas, try new things, find solutions, adapt and innovate to do better business as a result. There is a room for further progress in making sure we have a balanced representation of different groups in our business areas, and it's equally important for us to consider how we bring more diversity of thought to the table. There have been advancements over the last couple of years to push for greater diversity in the investment industry through various initiatives such as the Diversity Project, Gender Pay Gap, and independent initiatives run by various companies. But this afternoon we're here to celebrate the inspiring achievements of women across all parts of the investment industry. As a sponsor, we hope these awards are just one way that will help shape the discussion on improving diversity of thought in our industry. Thank you, and I'll see you a bit later on. Back to Katrina.
Thank you, Stuart. I would also like to say a big thank you to all our sponsors and supporters for these awards. We always support a charity through these awards, and today our chosen charity partner is Women's Aid, who do fantastic work trying to end domestic abuse. The charity is a federation of more than 180 organisations, providing 300 local life-saving services to vulnerable women and girls across the country. Its services have been in even greater demand during the COVID-19 pandemic. We're now going to show you a short video, and afterwards there'll be the opportunity to donate some money via a donation link and the chance to bid in an online silent auction, with all proceeds going to Women's Aid.
An estimated 1.6 million women experienced domestic abuse in the UK last year. 3 women are killed every fortnight by their male partner or former partner. The past 6 months have had a huge impact on all of our lives. Being in lockdown meant being confined to our homes with those in our household for almost 24 hours a day. Women's Aid knows that home is not a safe place for many women and children experiencing abuse, and when the government announced the lockdown, we knew this would have a significant negative impact. COVID-19 does not cause domestic abuse, only abusers are responsible for their actions. However, the pandemic has escalated abuse and made it harder for women to leave. It has shone a spotlight on an already existing crisis, and it can no longer be ignored. 2/3 of survivors reported their abuses using lockdown and the virus itself as a means of abuse, and over 3/4 of survivors living with their abuser reported the pandemic made it harder to leave. At Women's Aid, we have seen a huge impact on all of our work. As the national charity working to end domestic abuse against women and children, our combination of training, campaigning and research makes real change in the response to domestic abuse, and our support services such as our live chat helpline and Survivors Forum help thousands of women every year. Thanks to your support, Women's Aid is able to keep working towards a society where domestic abuse is no longer tolerated. We really appreciate any support you can give. Together, we can end domestic abuse. Thank you.
Thank you for that. A very worthy cause, and we hope you're able to donate today. So now back to the awards, and welcome to the awards room platform. To the left of me, or below me if you're on mobile, is the networking room chat function. Please use this to speak to everyone in the room. You'll also find the running order for the show there, and a button for the silent auction or making a charity donation. Below me, you'll see your table. You've been placed on a table with other members of your company. Here you can chat privately to everyone at your table. We hope you enjoy the awards room, and we look forward to seeing your messages of celebration appearing on the room chat soon. And you can also share your messages with us on social media. So without further ado, let's announce our winners. Look out too, as you may recognise some familiar faces as we go along. I'm delighted to be joined today by comedian Zoe Lyons, who you may remember has hosted these awards in the past for our ceremony today. Please join me on stage, Zoe.
Hello everybody, and a great honour and pleasure to be with you again this year for the Women in Investment Awards 2020 virtually. I have had the pleasure of seeing you all physically in the past, but this, as Katrina said, is an unprecedented year when the word unprecedented has been used an unprecedented amount of times. But we're getting through it together, and it's lovely to be here because it means for once I'm actually fully dressed, which is a first since about March. So I'm even wearing a bra, ladies. I've gone all out for you. I've made a real effort. I've been trying to work from home, but as a comedian, that often isn't easy. It means my postman is getting a full 20-minute routine every time he delivers something in the morning, and the parcels stop coming in June. But here we are. We're all learning to live to a new norm, learning new words. And furlough, that's a new one for me. If you'd said to me furlough back in February, I'd have probably said, oh, that ancient medieval word that means to leave the end of the pasture fallow for a good few months to enhance a harvest in September. No, that's not what it means. It's not what it means, is it? In fact, I haven't even been able to get furloughed this year because of my self-employment status, so feeling out of it a little bit, I've decided to use it around the house a little bit more, sort of in a domestic sort of scenario, you know, usually in the bedroom. I'm sorry, darling, I'm going to have to furlough you this evening, which means I'll give about 60 to 80% of what I usually do, and you'll have to rely on the government to screw you the following 20%. You know, and there are advantages to this time that we are all experiencing. People have used this time to better themselves, to grow as individuals, to take on new hobbies. I, this summer, started keeping bees. And you are right to be impressed. I can feel that fusion of excitement throughout the internet. Yes, I started keeping bees. I've got one, and it got caught behind the window, and I thought, sod it, I'll keep that. Because they never stipulate how many you've got to have, do they? So technically I'm a beekeeper. I mean, more likely I'm the keeper of a bee, but you know, that's being picky. And of course, there's new skills to take on. Early on in this, I thought, well, now, Zoe, now you've got time on your hands, why not take up French, Italian, and Spanish? Really go for it. And I'm pleased to tell you, my friends, I've absolutely nailed every single one of those categories in the form of Beaujolais, Rioja, and Pinot Grigio. Absolutely every level complete. You're welcome. And, you know, it helps you get through, doesn't it? I don't know how many drinks you allow yourself on a night when you're not drinking. We've decided it's about 4. That seems about reasonable, doesn't it? I hope you're on your 4th about now. I mean, my favourite wine, if I'm brutally honest, Box. Very handy and structurally sound. Other things we've had to adapt to. Masks, I wasn't a big fan initially, but I have found a way of even them bringing a little bit of joy to my life. It's very easy now, I found, with a mask on, to be horrifically passively aggressive in Waitrose as you're waiting behind a geriatric trying to decide what yogurt to use. They absolutely have no idea it's you behind them going, for the love of God, it's a pandemic. Choose raspberry or strawberry. They've got more important things to worry about. Every cloud. And Christmas is coming. Christmas is coming, of course, and it will be slightly different this year. I mean, we've all had a bad year, but spare a thought, my friends, for the turkey that's going to feed 6 people. Absolutely packing their pants this year. And of course, if the in-laws are still there on Boxing Day and you have more than one over the allowed allotment of people in the house, you can always get a nosy neighbour to just tip off the police and the in-laws will be taken away in a van. So, you know, we've got an amazing track and trace system where I'm living. It's just a lady called Tracy who lives down the road. She doesn't really know and just informs on everybody. So, haha, here we go. Listen, let us crack on. I hope you are relaxed at home. Maybe you have dressed up. Maybe you've got your slippers on with a gown. Who knows what the new combination of relaxed formal is. But whatever you're doing, I hope you're enjoying the evening, having a glass of something, and if you are shortlisted, all the very, very best of luck to you. You're all winners in my eyes, but then I'm quite short-sighted in this eye. All the very best of luck. Shall we get on with awards? I'm going to bring Katrina back onto the stage. As we can't all get together face-to-face this year for these important celebrations, we would love it if you could all get involved in using our virtual photo booth so that we can create a memory mosaic afterwards. Everyone who uses the photo booth will be in with a chance of winning a £100 John Lewis voucher. Make sure you use the photo on social media with the hashtag WIIA. You will see the link to the photo booth to the left of me, and we will keep posting the link in the chat. Also, don't forget to participate in the Buzzwords game for another chance to win £100 John Lewis vouchers. So, to kick things off, our first award today is for Change Excellence. How appropriate given the year. Our finalists are Ashley Cowie, Catherine Winner, Dominique Amon, Ilaria Calabresi, Karis Stander, Catherine Pirri, Kirsten Achtel-Stetter, Sanalia Siriwadina, and Vian Sharif. Who stood out for the judges, Katrina?
In a tight category, the judges gave a highly commended to a woman who played an integral role in a large and high-profile transition, helping successfully board 80 billion of assets in the biggest mandate transfer in the city's history. They admired her skill and dedication in heading a team supporting significant change and not being afraid to do things differently. Highly commended is Catherine Pirri. However, the judges singled out the winner in this category for her individual contribution in driving change in the area of sustainable investing. They said her key role in recent initiatives helped position this industry at the heart of ESG, including the launch and growth of the Tusk Conservation Awards, co-founding the Benchmark for Nature project, and developing a tool for showing customers the environmental and societal footprint of their portfolios. The winner is Vian Sharif.
And now we move to a new category for 2020, Wealth Manager of the Year. And here are the finalists. Anna Bloomsfist, Carla Brown, Jenny Tozer, Justine Coley, Natalie Krekis, Sandra Dailydite, Veronica Merrill-Kane, and Victoria MacDonald. But there can only be one winner, so it's back to Katrina.
Our judges praised a wonderful submission demonstrating high-quality delivery of wealth management services on the back of experience and empathy. They liked her investment of time to encourage women into financial services, establish a mentoring scheme and drive real change and opportunity via non-standard career progression. They thought she was a great role model and liked her work to encourage female investors. The winner is Jenny Tozer.
Our next category is for International Woman of the Year. These are the ones to watch. Let's see who's up for the gong. Amanda Pullinger, Doris Grillo, Catherine Koch, Khadija Basia, Linda Lin, Robin Grew, Srimati Varadarajan, Sonal Desai, Sunny Harford, Susan Long McAndrews. Kat, don't keep us in suspense.
The judges said they were blown away by this woman's submission and described her as a great role model. They said she has an incredible track record and, importantly, clearly spends a significant amount of time and energy supporting minority or underrepresented groups and has been leading culture change at our company and wider industry level. The winner is Sunny Harford.
Moving on now to Marketing Influencer of the Year. Here are the women with their names in lights: Amanda McChrystal, Anna Maria Folho, Anisha Patel, Courtney Waterman, Erica Arvau, Georgina Field, Jane Fieldhouse, Kate Holliday, Linda Roosholm, Siobhan Mitten. But who caught the judges' attention? Kat.
In this category, the judges awarded a highly commended to a woman they admire as a senior role model who has also started a business and is driving change. They like the way she is doing things differently and is helping talented marketers in the sector progress through initiatives like the Aim High podcast and Future Leaders programme, as well as practical ways to help them cope with the fallout from COVID-19. Highly commended is Georgina Fields. But there was an outstanding candidate in this category. The judges described this woman as a great role model running her own firm. They were impressed with the impact she has had through a number of innovative projects and how she is addressing inequality in so many different ways. Her work with the Diversity Project really stood out this year, with far-reaching impact from initiatives including Women Returners and the Talk About Black I Am campaign. The winner is Linda Russheim.
And now we come to another new category, Distribution Woman of the Year. That was nearly me earlier this year when I nearly had to take a job with Amazon. Here are the finalists. We have Abby Shan, Chloe Jones, Francesco Mandelli, Guinevere Taylor, Hilary Lopez, Katie Nutting, Lauren Radford, Lizzie Buss, Lydia Reeves, Mireille Abujadu, and Monica Fan. But who has triumphed? Katrina.
In a new category this year, the judges awarded a highly commended to this woman, as they were impressed she has created new revenue streams and services tailored to new clients that resulted in a new department. They also liked how she draws on her experience to help clients. Great stuff. Highly commended goes to Katie Nutting. But the judges described our winner as impressive. They liked her determination from an early age not to let gender barriers get in her way and build a successful career in distribution, including taking on wider responsibilities in the last year in a senior leadership role. They also liked her inclusive approach to management and her wish to inspire women across different backgrounds to challenge the norm. The winner is Abby Jane.
We are pleased to come now to our Team Leader of the Year category, and a good team leader, of course, is a marvellous motivator and a person with enormous fitness of mind. So let's take a look at our finalists. We have Caroline Shaw, Christine Chow, Claire Alley, Emma Glover, Faye Mullen, Gail Philippa, Gitta Ball, Jane Rogers, Jessica Hammond, Osgay Uster, and Samorit Sequire. So Kat, who will take home the prize?
The judges gave a highly commended to a woman who has used her experience to good effect when managing a large team, demonstrating the benefits of collaboration, mentoring, and work-life balance. They appreciated how she approached the challenges of taking on new leadership responsibilities and supporting her team during the pandemic. She comes across as very human, and the judges said they would like to be in her team. Highly commended goes to Geeta Bal. But the winning woman impressed the judges with her leadership and support of her team during a period of significant upheaval and uncertainty over the past year, while remaining client-focused. They also liked how she has evolved the team's responsibilities over the past year to meet new requirements using a collaborative approach with clear results. The winner is Faye Mullen.
come to our 2 awards for Fund Managers, starting with Fund Manager of the Year, Large Firms. This category is sponsored by Janice Henderson. Our finalists in this category are Abid Lenny, Amy Cam, Christine Baleham, Georgina Britton, Gillian Tiltman, Jeanne Shi Cortesi, Kate Morrissey, Katie Forbes, Mercedes Fernandez Elias, Olivia Maguire, Sarah Harrison. So it's over to Janice Henderson to tell us who has won this category.
Hello everyone, I'm Sarah de la Garde, Global Head of Comms for Janice Henderson, and it's my pleasure to announce the winner of the Fund Manager of the Year, Large Firms. The judges said, in addition to running a significant amount of money, this woman is passionate about her role as a fund manager as well as generous with her time. Having begun her career in the industry more than 20 years ago, at a particularly challenging time for women in asset management, she has left an indelible mark both on her company and the industry as a whole. The winner of Fund Manager of the Year, Large Firms, sponsored by Janice Henderson, is Georgina Britton, JP Morgan Asset Management. Congratulations, Georgina, you are an inspiration to us all.
Our next award is for Fund Manager of the Year, Small to Medium Firms. Let's look at the names in the frame. We have Anya Nowitzki, Chantal Brennan, Christina Bastin, Hoi Yuan, Kirstine Morrison, Rosanna Bocelli, Sharon Bentley Hamlin. So please put us out of our misery, Katrina.
Awarding highly commended in this category, the judges said that apart from good performance and resilience, this woman has continued to challenge existing paradigms during her career, most notably the integration of ESG principles. Highly commended goes to Sharon Bentley Hamlin. But moving on to the winner. The judges said the strength of a good fund manager is not just strong returns, but being willing to reflect and learn using their professional experiences. This woman has done just that, having helped to design a fund with strong performance in an increasingly important sector. The winner is Kirstine Morrison.
So we hope you're enjoying the evening so far. Please do keep using the social media hashtags and of course posting those photographs of yourselves so we can all join in your celebrations. You having a good time, Katrina?
I'm having a great time, thank you, Zoe.
Good, you know. Have you done your shopping list yet for Christmas?
I've done a little bit of shopping, yes.
I'm just utilising this time now in between the awards to do mine. Got pen, got paper, let's crack on. Lego. That's for me. Right. We move on to Investment Analyst of the Year, and our finalists are Anjali Shah, Anna Farnborough, Barbara Matuskova, Camilla Ayling, Ava Cairns, Georgina Aspden Davis, Hannah Street, Hortense Boy, Kate Kalashnikova, Leslie Uzan, and Sophie Steele. But who did the judges decide on, Katrina?
Awarding a highly commended in this category, the judges noted this woman is hard-working, having taken an atypical route into the industry. She has achieved an impressive amount in her investment career and has given back to society through networks and advisory groups, helping those from disadvantaged backgrounds. Highly commended is Anjali Shah. But the judges said the winning woman not only scored strongly based on her role as an analyst, but the fact she's heavily focused on D&I initiatives and is sending out a really important message of inclusivity to others. The winner is Camilla Ayling.
Huge congratulations to Camilla. We are now moving on. Now we come to our first group award for contribution to diversity. Our finalists for consideration are Border to Coast Pensions Partnership, Capital Group, City Hive, the Diversity Project, Fidelity International, HSBC Global Asset Management, Legg Mason Global Asset Management, now part of the Franklin Templeton Investments, Ludgate Search, Morgan Stanley Investment Management, and Pantheon. But who has won?
The judges said this winning group are small but powerful and have shown true leadership and diversity across the industry to encourage a more inclusive culture. They work closely with many firms they have supported and advise them on how to attract and develop female talent, introducing a new mentoring initiative this year. The team have been vocal and passionate across the broader market, working alongside the media and other channels to get their message out. Importantly, they are not afraid to hold asset managers to account, calling out D&I greenwashing in the industry and demanding further action. The winner is City Hive.
So we are now going to take a short break from the awards where I'll sit down, probably have a chocolate, I don't know. And we're going to hear from some of our judges about what stood out for them about the entries this year and why these awards are more important than ever in 2020.
It was important that we did not take the foot off the accelerator. It might have seemed as if everything had gone into limbo, but other events have put a spotlight on diversity. So continuing these awards sends an important message to everyone that inclusion and diversity matters and should be at the heart of businesses.
I guess it's really important that we continue to build on the positive momentum with regards to gender diversity and inclusion within our industry. And we know actually through positive recognition, it really does impact the sense of belonging and inclusion for women in our industry. But we also know as well it has a great impact on our ability to attract new talent into our industry as well. I think sort of secondly, if we really build on sort of the success of last year, I think continued recognition for the talented women in our industry is absolutely critical to normalising the conversation about diversity and inclusion. And in addition to that, the feedback that I've heard from people involved in these awards over the years has been incredibly positive, and actually creating that inspiration really comes at a time when we really need it at the most.
What really stood out this year was the increase in the number of entries and the quality of those entries as well. And I really hope that that is as a result of more women having the confidence to put themselves forward for the awards, and also their colleagues and their teams recognising the great contribution that they make and putting them forward for the awards. And what I really liked about the winners this year was that they provided concrete, excellent examples of why they should win. There were real, genuine examples of their successes and their achievements.
We saw fantastic entrants again this year. We always do, but this year's group were really superb. And what we saw were people who have very strong track records, who've demonstrated tremendous performance in their roles, who've approached their careers with terrific determination and tremendous resilience. But what I really liked about it this year was that we saw people putting themselves forward more, people actually willing to say, I'm really good at this, and to promote themselves and put themselves forward and being tremendously confident in their own abilities, which they have previously demonstrated. But I think that is a change, and it was really gratifying to see.
I'm going to start by saying this is a tough gig, and it's not just because of the volume of applications. It's not because of the quality of those applications, but actually when it comes to choosing those winners, you're looking at a variety of experiences, and that's a really hard thing to do. When I think of the categories that I was involved in, what springs to mind is the sheer drive and the courage shown by so many candidates in terms of documenting their very personal experiences and challenges. But what they all have in common is that in some shape or form, they're affecting change in the industry, whether that's through very impressive individual performance or whether that's through being an integral part of a diversity initiative in the wider industry. And when it came to the companies, the most successful candidates, in my view, were those who had very well thought out, very well structured campaigns, but crucially were able to demonstrate that these were reflective of a more fundamental shift behind the scenes. And that's essentially what these awards are about.
I would like to see a focus on inclusion. I think because all the initiatives in the world will not matter if we are not inclusive. So how are we questioning groupthink? How do we equip managers to be open to the diversity of thought that a diverse workforce will bring? What leadership and management skills are we putting in place that will drive the cultural shift required to accelerate our industry's progress?
I think as an industry, we have made some fantastic inroads into changes in diversity and inclusion over the past few years, but clearly there is still a lot more to do. I think it boils down to the firms and the employers to really put in place these initiatives, and encourage women and people from ethnic minorities to push themselves forward and accelerate in their careers. I also think a huge amount can be done by the asset management industry with the grassroots, with the education of young people. And not just it being about academic qualifications, but about real passion and the opportunities that were within the industry.
So I think it's a time where we are really thinking about, how do we create that equal culture? How do we really impact the sense of belonging and the feeling of empowerment within our industry? So what I would like to see is a continued and renewed focus on a number of the intersectional themes, such as smart and flexible working, normalising not being in the office. All of these indicators are really important for really creating that culture of equality, which then enables the diversity and increasing representation to happen. I'd also like to see a lot more advocacy from leadership actually around how we really continue and seize the opportunity created by the shift in our working practices.
We are becoming a more diverse and inclusive industry. It's taking its time, but in all of the conversations that I have with investment leaders, diversity and inclusion remains a key focus. I know it's been a concern that in this year, when there's been so many other things to worry about, people have been concerned that maybe diversity and inclusion has been pushed slightly to the side. But I don't see that in terms of tone from the top, which is very gratifying. I think what we now need to see is actually clients and fund selectors being more aware themselves of the importance of diversity and inclusion and the extent to which a company's embrace of diversity and inclusion reflects a great deal about the culture, about the ethos of that organization, and very likely about its future success.
I'm afraid it's well worn, but for me, the answer is very much education. And I think as an industry, we need to be clear that we're open and we're not some impenetrable monolith, and that wherever there's talent, we're willing to go out and seek that. Now, from my personal experience, I went to an all-girls comprehensive, and looking back, I don't recall anybody saying to me at those crucial pinch points, GCSEs, A-levels, choosing university, have you thought of the city? We have to move from being an industry where people simply fall into it, be it through luck, be it through a chance conversation, which is what happened to me, to being an industry that becomes a deliberate career consideration, and not just for the few, but for the many. And that's why platforms like Women in Investment Awards is so important in making sure that these issues are constantly kept front of mind. And so for that, thank you very much, and keep up the good works.
Thanks again to our judges, and let's get back to the awards. We come to the Mentor of the Year category, and here are the names in lights. We have Jenny Barber, Gillian Thomas, Joanna Monroe, Katie Berridge, Laura Carty, Mark Dunn, Poonam Sharma, Rona Train, Sheila Patel, Ula MacDonald, and Vania Clayton. So I'm handing back to Katrina for the results.
The judges said not only is this woman at the forefront of a fantastic forward-thinking initiative that makes tangible differences to people's lives, she's overcome prejudices and hardships herself to break down socio-economic taboos for others. She is described as an inspirational mentor. The winner is Jenny Barber.
into the awards now in this lovely, beautiful afternoon of ours. Perhaps if you've had a little tipple too much already, now's the time to have a coffee, sober up for the last little bit, and then really party at the end. So next up, we have the category for Fund Selector of the Year, and here are our finalists. Amy Chesworth, Elizabeth Bebb, Emma Saunders, Esther Gilbert, Katie Trousdale, Meena Lakshmanan, Paris Jordan, Shannon Lancaster. Katrina, what did the judges decide on?
Awarding a highly commended in this category, the judges said this woman has achieved a successful career in investment management while balancing work and family life. She also uses her personal experiences to help others who may want to follow in her footsteps. She is a good communicator and has remained her authentic self within her role. Highly commended goes to Katie Trousdale. And now to the winner. The judges said they were impressed with this woman's move from risk into investment management, and by the fact she's now using her platform to help young people from varied socioeconomic backgrounds enter the industry. She demonstrates professionalism and a high level of personal growth. The winner is Amy Chesworth.
And now we come to Role Model of the Year. This category is sponsored by HSBC Global Asset Management. And joining me to present the category is Chief Executive Officer UK, Stuart White. And here are our finalists.
Anna Maria Tuliak, Caroline Canellan, Christine Chow, Claire Skinner, Doreen Johnson, Lucia Pina Garcia, Nazreen Casanali, Olivia Maguire, Robin Grew, Tanya Castell, and Vicky Pearce. Stuart, who is taking home the crown?
Thank you. So this was a very tight category. So the judges wanted to award 2 highly commended accolades. For our first commendation, the judges said this woman has built her career from the ground up through hard work and is now helping to bring in people from outside the profession. She's more than just a role model, and she's stepping back to the place she once came from to make a difference. Our first highly commended is Vicky Pearce. The judges said their second highly commended woman has overcome challenges within her early education setup and used her experiences for positive change, working with underrepresented groups at education level while being a prominent voice of the industry. Our second highly commended is Olivia Maguire. But one woman stood out in this category. The judges said this candidate is an inspiring individual and a pioneer affecting change to create a more diverse industry. She is navigating cultures and prejudices to help build a more equal world. The winner is Robin Grew.
And now we come to Most Inspiring Returner of the Year. Let's take a look at our worthy finalists. Abigail Heron, Carolyn Morgan, Claudia Ripley, Fiona O'Neill, Hania Schmidt, Harriet Griffin, Katie Bretsch, Latifa Gallard, Louisa Waluska, Norma Fraser, Pavasha Chetty, Sophie Carter, and Victoria Kelly. But who has won? Back to Katrina.
In another close category, the judges awarded a highly commended to a woman they said had a great story after returning from a 20-year career break, saying she is inspiring for others. She clearly worked very hard to find a permanent role and took charge of her own career. They highlighted most career breaks as shorter, and it must have taken a huge amount of courage to get back into the game. Highly commended goes to Carolyn Morgan. And now to this year's winner. The judges commended this woman for coming back after an 11-year career break into a brand new role and overcoming challenges such as technology moving on. What really stood out for the judges though was how this woman has also given back through initiatives like launching and running her company's Women's Talent Academy to encourage more women to work in the investment industry. The winner is Sophie Carter.
Moving on to Unsung Hero of the Year. Our finalists here get some welcome recognition. Alexandra Fay, Carol Hensby, Caroline Abondanza, Eleanor Kocheva, Emma Payne, Gemma Cowie, Maria Calvarado, Marina Ebruba, Nancy Delamere, Nicola Maddox, Tina Shea Tande. But who has won? Katrina will tell us.
The judges wanted to give a highly commended to a woman from an unconventional background for the finance industry who acts as a strong role model. They said her submission showed a huge amounts of drive, going above and beyond her job to put in place a significant number of initiatives to help positively change the culture of the workplace. This woman has driven tangible policy changes, not just on paper, but policy in action. Highly commended goes to Nicola Maddox. But the judges gave the winner's accolade in this category to a woman from a less advantaged background who has proven her abilities and kept pushing herself to succeed. She champions diversity over and above her day job by taking the lead on a number of programmes internally and externally, notably on neurodiversity, spends time mentoring others and acts as a positive role model. The winner is Marina Abruba.
We really hope you're enjoying the award celebrations so far. Keep sending in your photographs, keep sharing your celebrations, and keep looking out for those buzzwords. You never know where one might pop up. Pie, you can have that one. All right, you can have that one. Get back in the game. Come on. We're moving on to Fund Saleswoman of the Year. The names in lights are Katie Barry, Christina Tehan, Laura Bell, Liz Wright, Lucy Langley, Rachel Perini, Sandrine Hadris, Sophia Pappy, Sophie Andrews. But of course we need a winner, so it's back over to Katrina.
The judges said there was a standout entry in this category. They liked how this woman has been able to establish herself as an expert with her clients, and they were impressed with how she's tackled the challenges of COVID-19, spending a great deal of time supporting clients. This woman shows how she helps those around her and how she delivers. They said the idea of the role play session she runs is also very clever and really adds value. The winner is Lucy Langley.
And we will pause again here to talk to Investment Week editor Lauren Mason about the big diversity and inclusion stories making the headlines in an eventful year.
Hello, Lauren. Thank you so much for joining us as part of the awards today. I just wanted to ask you about what's been happening in a very extraordinary year in terms of diversity and inclusion in the investment industry. And I know Investment Week has continued to champion progress in this area this year. Maybe you could start by talking about that very striking front page cover that we had about the I Am campaign in association with Talk About Black and what the significance of that was.
Sure. I mean, I think it's worth starting by saying sort of amid all the COVID headlines, it really has been an incredible year of change in terms of the D&I movement. Obviously, we had the George Floyd murder in May, and just a few days later, we had the Amy Cooper incident in Central Park. So I think more and more people have started to listen to and understand just how much racism, systemic and otherwise, exists in the world today. And I think as a result, the advent of the I Am campaign, which features in that particular front cover, has gained huge traction. And as a result, it's really given members of the Black and broader BAME community the opportunity to rewrite their own narratives in order to combat any harmful stereotypes. So that was really what we were trying to do with the front page there. And we have continued that as an ongoing series as well. I think another huge shift we've seen in the industry this year has been flexible working since COVID. So the asset management industry, alongside several other industries, of course, has finally had the chance to prove that both women and men can work hard and perform well, while also dedicating time to raising a family through home working and flexible working structures. And hopefully we see more of that in the future.
Yes, I was going to ask you about what you see now going into next year and beyond in terms of the priorities for companies in the sector for diversity and inclusion.
Absolutely. I mean, I think we've already seen some really encouraging shifts this year, and I expect a lot of these to continue. For example, we've seen Schroders, alongside several other firms, really paving the way towards permanent flexible working this year. And I do expect more and more firms to follow suit as we head into 2021. I also think and hope that D&I policies will be dialed up a notch and hopefully enter boardrooms rather than sort of remain as these HR box ticking exercises, which they can sometimes be. Also in terms of recruitment, I think we're going to see a real step up here. We've already started to see some really exciting initiatives. I've noticed an uptick in graduate programs and mentorship schemes in the asset management industry, and I expect that to continue. Talk About Black has launched a pilot after-school program for disadvantaged children, for example. So overall, next year, I really do expect to see a narrowing of this gap between saying and doing.
Great, thanks for your insight on that, and we do hope for even more progress next year and beyond. Thank you again, Lauren. Thanks.
And now we arrive at our second company awards, this time for contribution to gender diversity. We also welcome back our sponsor, HSBC Global Asset Management, and Chief Executive Officer UK, Stuart White. The companies on our finalist lists are AXA Investment Managers, Fidelity International, Goldman Sachs Asset Management, Leverton Search, Man Group, Morgan Stanley Investment Management, Pantheon, RBC Global Asset Management, Reddington, and UBS Asset Management. But who is leading the way, Stuart?
Thanks, Zoe. So the judges awarded a highly commended in this category to a group they said demonstrated a coherent plan driven from the bottom up that is having good results. The judges particularly liked the group's focus on talent retention and work with state schools. Highly commended is Man Group. But the judges praised the winning group for a clear, impressive, evidence-based submission, showing the group has aligned itself with a strong ethos and a pragmatic application of this ethos across the entire business. The work is ongoing and the evidence is in the stats, they said. They also praised the growth of the group's Women and Money campaign to help more women get invested, saying it is inspired and very well thought through. And the winner is Fidelity International.
And now we turn to honour some of the newer members of the industry who are already making an impact. We start with the award for Rising Star of the Year, small to medium firms. The finalists in this category are Anna McMullen, Chloe Canham, Emma Baumbach, Isabel Fraser, Clissa Lidman, Lottie Kent, Rachel Dunbar Naismith, Ria Shah, Suman Sidhu, and Tara Gillespie. But who takes home the trophy?
The judges liked how this woman has worked hard and shown good career progression in a short space of time, and has taken on a lot outside her role, including mentoring university students from underprivileged backgrounds, and is having an impact with a number of diversity and inclusion initiatives. They also recognised she was nominated internally for the Lockdown Legend Award due to her work supporting colleagues and organising virtual socials during lockdown. The winner is Suman Sidhu.
And our next award is for Rising Star of the Year Large Firms. Here are the names in the spotlight. We have Camilla Ayling, Dominic Amon, Elizabeth Stewart, Emma Reynolds, Faye Osunuga, Francesca Ritchie, Hayley Myers, Lily Bake, Sarah Hemizi, Suguti Chowdhury, and Zoe Deddy. But who really impressed the judges this time, Katrina?
The judges wanted to give a highly commended in this category to a woman they recognise has dealt with significant challenges head-on, which is very difficult to do, and has used her experiences to help others. She's made a considerable amount of progress in a short space of time and has been developing her leadership and mentoring skills. Highly commended goes to Zoe Deddy. But now to the winner. The judges like this woman's passion and drive in her role to make investments more accessible and easier to understand for all, while she is not afraid to challenge the status quo. They acknowledged her responsibilities and work on several committees and associations across the industry to drive best practice, and said she has not let her age dampen her drive and ambition. She challenges and is clearly having an impact. The winner is Emma Reynolds.
We are coming towards the end of our awards today as we move along to Investment Woman of the Year Small to Medium Firms. And let's welcome back our sponsor for the final time this afternoon, HSBC Global Asset Management and Chief Executive Officer UK, Stuart White. Our ones to watch are on the screen. We have Claire Goodfellow, Dehandra Sobia, Helen Steers, Jennifer Orkwell, Cara Stander, Lindsay Spencer, Harris Jordan, Rachel Elwell, Sarah Soa and Sophia Pappy. But who takes home the crown, Stuart?
So the judges awarded a highly commended in this category to a woman they noted has had an inspiring career and has risen to a very senior role. She has used her experiences and the high-profile nature of her role to make a difference to improving diversity, both internally and externally. Highly commended goes to Rachel Elwell. But the judges awarded the winner's trophy to a woman who is an outstanding example of someone driven by a belief that they can change the status quo by doing what they believe in. They said her bravery in sharing her personal story is inspirational to so many people who can personally relate. The judges commended this woman for actively supporting diversity and inclusion in the industry, particularly her work for neurodivergent individuals, including supporting them through the COVID lockdown. She's also made an impact using platforms like podcasts and webinars to start a discussion within the industry about taboo subjects of menopause. The winner is Jennifer Orkwell.
Now to our penultimate award today for Investment Woman of the Year, Large Firms. Here is the shortlist. Abby Llewellyn-Waters, Harriet Steele, Helen Jewell, Ijeoma Okoli, Jean-Chi Cortesi, Joanne Monroe, Julie Moore, Kathleen Hughes, Michelle Danso, Nandini Ramakari Shanan, Sheila Patel. But Katrina is going to tell us who has won.
This category was too close to call, with the judges saying these joint winners were both inspirational in different ways. The judges described our first joint winner as amazing and a leader on diversity. She has had a great career and is giving a lot back to the industry. This woman plays a key role in a number of diversity initiatives having real impact. But in particular, the judges highlighted she is the brainchild behind the Stories of Black Leadership photographic and oral history series, leaving a mark for younger people to be inspired by the accomplishments of Black female leaders. Our first joint winner is Ijeoma Okoli. Our second joint winner is another inspirational woman the judges said was a great role model with a very successful career. Importantly, she has utilised her platform to elevate the role of women both at her own company and in global leadership of finance and sustainability, including leading a group which has taken a clear stance on IPOs without diverse boards. This woman's role also reaches wider, and the judges noted her engagement on the risks of a global pandemic well before COVID-19. Our winner has continued her high-profile push for change during a period of significant personal challenges, including speaking at Davos. Our second joint winner is Sheila Patel.
And as we near the end of the awards, it just remains for me to say, keep sharing those photographs, keep sharing your celebrations. Let's reach out to each other and encourage and support each other, all of our winners thus far this evening. But finally, today, we come to the award for outstanding contribution to the industry. And who deserves this recognition, Katrina?
This year, we felt the time was right to recognise a woman who has been a leading light in campaigning for a more diverse and inclusive investment industry for some years and has made a significant individual contribution. She's not afraid to talk about her personal experiences to help drive change, and this has continued this year as she has maintained a high-profile role as the industry faces the challenges of COVID-19. She's also not been afraid to continue to challenge the industry, including recently calling out the industry leadership for greenwashing on diversity and inclusion. When she speaks on this area, people listen, such as the extent of her influence and the regard in which she's held. I'm sure she would say her work is far from done, and we are excited to see how she can build on her already considerable achievements and ensure the investment industry really comes through on its promises and lasting changes are made. But for her individual achievements so far and personal commitment to this cause, I'm delighted to announce the winner of Outstanding Contribution to the Industry 2020 is Bhavini Bev Shah. I would like to hand it over to Bev to accept her award.
I'm really honoured to have been given this award, and I'd like to thank my entire team at City Hive, especially my partner in crime and co-founder Mandy Kirby. I'd also like to thank all the judges and the team at Investment Week. We've spent the last few years campaigning and talking about the changes that need to happen in the industry, and 2021 is going to be all about the impact. As an industry, we can drive real change. I'd like to thank everyone in the industry for your support up until now. Thanks again, and I'd like to say one big final congratulations to all the winners today.
Thanks for that, Bev. So now we come to the end of the Investment Week Women in Investment Awards for this year, although as we know, the work continues. Congratulations to all our winners. Thanks again to Zoe, our judges, HSBC Global Asset Management, and our sponsors and supporters.
It's been an absolute pleasure hosting the awards this year. Please look after yourselves. Please do keep sharing your photos. The party's not over. Congratulations to all of our winners. Crack open that alcohol and make yourself a cocktail. Take care of yourselves until we see you again in the future and in the flesh. Goodbye.